So hey, what's up guys, Box here and welcome to F1 2020 once again, and we are hopping into career mode, but this time we are going to be joining Mr. Simulator. Now Mr. Simulator is going to be simulating a lot of the races in this season, so we're going to simulate a full season 1 that is, of F1 2020 career mode, and we're going to see what happens over the course of this season, and we will return to Mr. Simulator over the course of the life cycle of this game, and we will aim to simulate every single season on F1 2020 career mode. So let's get started here with season 1 down at Australia. So then you will see a lot of menu flicking and stuff like that. You're not going to see much racing, if any at all. But we're with Williams because, well, if you set your expectations low, you will not fail. So obviously we're not doing anything really. You're not even doing qualifying. Maybe for season 2 I'll do one-shot quali for every race. But anyway, in terms of R&D, we are literally almost the worst team at everything. Haas somehow slightly worse in the chassis department. But anyway, taking a look at our standard driver lineup and team lineup, as you can see it's standard per the 2020 start of the season. We start with 1500 R&D points, so you know what, I'm just going to get straight in. I'm going to put these R&D points to good use. I'm going to go for the aero package because it's absolutely diabolical. Can we do both? Yes, we can. Develop that just to help us out, and that's most of our points spent really. I can't spend any more. So what we're going to do, we're going to advance on a little bit. There will be things to do such as the car reveal. There may be invitational events. We're not going to do those, of course, but let's take a look at our challenger for the simulated season. Right then, so we have our season objectives, and what do they want from the season? You'll put on a show, so you will have to show some patience for the first part of the season, as expect our initial pace to be towards the back of the grid, but don't worry, everyone's working hard and invest in the team. As long as you do a bit, you should be able to move forward. Okay, don't really give me any specific objectives, but we're going to get into the first Grand Prix anyway, and we're going to start simulating things. Oh, look at that. We've had our R&D parts on, and in terms of the R&D tree then, we are still last. Wow. So let's get in. Let's develop some more upgrades. Going to start with a front downforce, and I'm just going to have to leave the engine. We've got a big advantage on the engine, so we've got to leave that. I'm going to have to get into some chassis upgrades too. But yeah, we are here. We'll head out to the race weekend. We'll simulate, practice. We're effectively going to have to skip quali. So then, after round of 1, this is what you can see. Pretty standard race. Mercedes 1-2, Ferrari 3-4, 5th and 6th. The Red Bulls then Renault and McLaren all the way down to P10, and it's pretty much the order of the constructors really. We managed to get ahead of our teammate, which is good, and we started in P19. So round number 1 looking pretty standard. Come the end of the season, it might be all shaken up a little bit. So we've got some more R&D points. Quite a few R&D points coming in our way actually anyway. We've got good morale in the chassis department, so it might be worth doing that. We also got aero upgrades coming our way. You can see that Haas have taken a leap forward, so I'm going to develop that just to help us out. And we've got exactly 500 points which we can throw into weight reduction for the chassis. Already getting a lot of investment early on at Williams, so Claire Williams definitely wasn't lying. And let's check out round number 2. So round number 2 saw the Ferraris actually beat one of the Mercedes, and that was Lewis Hamilton. Bottas takes back-to-back wins, and he leads the championship, of course, and this time McLaren got best of the rest, and also the pink Mercedes at the Racing Point managed to get further up the grid, and again we did a little bit better. We improved on our first round result, and we also beat our teammate once again. So this is good stuff. Take a look at the standings, and it is Vettel in second place behind Bottas. Mercedes lead the way, and McLaren battling for best of the rest. We had our first R&D failure, so I'm going to have to throw an extra 300 points at that, and it's delayed it by about a week too. So we've got 660 points to go. I might start upgrading down here at the weight redistribution because these are on the way. Yeah, in fact, we'll get that on now. So we're going to get some upgrades coming our way very shortly. I think they're coming tomorrow by the looks of it. Okay, yeah, we didn't quite get the second aero part, and I don't think we have enough R&D points now to get that in, 300 points. So let's head into round number 3, the worst Grand Prix of the season, Vietnam. Bottas takes his third win, 3 out of 3 for Bottas, and finally Red Bull get themselves on the podium. And taking a look at the standings, then they still lead. Bottas obviously running away with it. We ended up beating our teammate once again as well, so that's good news. So the Dutch Grand Prix, it's the first race weekend where Mercedes didn't finish on the podium, which is, wow, that's pretty interesting really, and we did really well. We made it up to P15. I will take that. So the standings then, obviously Bottas still leads and Mercedes dominating still, 25 points clear from Ferrari in the constructors, and that is our roundup after round number 5. 5 rounds later then, and we're still bringing in the upgrades thick and fast. Look at that. For the jump from Baku all the way up to France here, we're about to complete our 10th round of the season, but we're closing them in. I've been focusing on aero. It's been a bit slow, but we're finally getting to the major upgrades, which are really making a dent, and we're still the slowest aero. Still the slowest chassis, but hopefully with these upgrades coming, it'll be better. And our power unit now, we're just going to slowly improve that too, just to give us the edge. So let's simulate the 10th round. We're still going to be in 19th sort of a place probably. Hamilton takes the win. Oh, Ferrari Red Bull podium as well. And we beat our Williams teammate as usual, but only 19th. So, contract time after round number 11. Renegotiate with current team or approach other teams. Now, I don't know how much value I've got to other teams, so I'm going to stick with Williams because I'm kind of interested to see if we can get this Williams to a decent car in the first season. So, let's see. Let's take a look at our salary. Approach accepted. Right, so our team demands. So we can go for a low risk, medium risk. I'm going to play it safe, low risk for now, and see what happens. We can do risky business later on, and they've done it. So we've got some extra 60k for our perk fund, which is good, and it's going to expire at the end of the season, 30th of November.
Here, we can spend any extra money that you secured on perks. Each of these perks benefit both you.
I haven't got enough money to buy any more perks, but that's okay. So then we're going to be heading into our season break, and that means that the Team HQ will shut down for the season break, and then we get back into things. And in terms of the engine, we're looking okay. We've been using up a few parts. We'll have to take a penalty soon, I think. But if we have a look now, we're through into the second half of the season. This is the R&D chart. We've closed things right up for Williams, which is good. And then in terms of the standings, Bottas leads from Hamilton. Bottas have an incredible season, and we are in 19th in the championship. Not doing too bad, and yeah, look at that. There are 2 new people in the championship. Has that just happened, or that must have happened a little while back? But there are transfers, and we've got some F2 drivers and things over here. So we've got... Okay, so we've had some driver transfers. Look where Charles Leclerc is. Charles Leclerc is at AlphaTauri. Daniel Ricciardo is at Ferrari. Whereas Perez at Renault. Where else? We've got Kimi Raikkonen in the pink Mercedes of Racing Point. Who else? Giovinazzi still at Alfa Romeo. Kvyat is out. Gasly is out. And who else we got? So Kamara Camara, he's from F2, and Nick De Vries at Alfa Romeo as well from F2. So that is interesting. They are our first sort of driver transfers. I don't know when they happened. I wonder if I missed them, or if they just happened. I wonder if they happened after round 11 and I didn't realise. But anyway, we've got to get back into things. So let's crack on. So Charles Leclerc has really had a kick in the balls. Look at that, 12th place. Ricciardo got second in the Ferrari. Ricciardo and Vettel back together, but at a different team. That is crazy. Who else have we got to look at? Kimi Raikkonen in the pink Mercedes. Oh, Kimi Raikkonen doing well. Who else? We got Perez. The new Alfa Romeo F2 driver doing pretty well. We got 17th. And our teammate came last. Oh, believe it or not, round number 15, Italian Grand Prix, Leclerc beat his former team Ferrari and Daniel Ricciardo there, and he managed to get 4th. Wow, that is crazy. This simulation has got a little bit interesting since the driver transfers as well. It's not the usual sort of order that you expect, and we actually managed to increase to level 4 acclaim. So after this Japanese Grand Prix, you can see Ferrari and Ricciardo got a podium, as well as Vettel getting the race win, and Bottas didn't get on the podium at all. So pretty interesting. Again, Williams, we beat both the Haas cars, which is good, and you can see Bottas still leads the drivers' standings. Right, so after the regulation changes, you can see these are the parts at risk. So all that effort we've invested in the aero, I do not want to lose. So I'm going to go through and just start adapting these upgrades so we don't lose them. Because I really do not want to lose all of that work we've done this season. So we're going to protect that as best we can. So then we've just got 3 rounds to go, and we're here at the Mexican Grand Prix. You can see over the course of the season now, we're wrapping up the season. No one's really made any major leaps forward, which, I mean, you wouldn't really expect in a realistic season. You'd expect sort of your top teams to stay in the top, your mid-tier teams stay in the middle. Maybe they'll make the jump up further up. Like you can see, Racing Point they're pretty much on par with Ferrari almost. But Williams, we've managed to close up a little bit, but I've really had to stop development of this year's car and decide to focus on next year's car. Obviously the regulations changing, you can see I'm going through and adapting our parts, so hopefully next year we can have a decent starting car and we don't undo any of this work we've done on the aero front. So yeah, I'm gonna simulate the race. We'll see how the third from last race ends up. Hamilton takes the win from Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo in 5th, Charles Leclerc in the AlphaTauri, and where did we finish? 15th, not bad, did pretty good to be honest. So we're getting in some of these 15th, 16th places every so often. Take a look at the standings, then you can see Bottas is going to wrap it up very soon. We can't get the jump on Haas, and we're still in last place, but hopefully next season will be a little bit better in this simulated career mode. Our rival Kimi Raikkonen as well. We are expectedly losing that rivalry. I just wanted to see what he looked like in the Racing Point, because you don't really get that. You don't get to see the new drivers and their new teams really when you simulate all the way through. So let's get into the next round, which will be the penultimate Grand Prix at Brazil. So at the end of the penultimate round of the season, Hamilton beats Bottas and Leclerc rounds off the podium. Look at that, good result for Leclerc. He's doing alright at AlphaTauri, and we've got another 15th place here in the Williams, and unfortunately George Russell finished last place. So we're going to be wrapping up the season. I've managed to adapt all of the R&D parts to protect them for season 2. So hopefully if we stay at Williams, those parts will be protected. But again, I don't know what we're going to do. Do we stay with Williams for another season? Or do we move on in our simulated lifestyle? That's something we're going to have to find out. So there you go. I've protected all the parts I can. And it's all down to Lady Luck to see how the newly developed parts will last into next season. But let's head into the final round. It's the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And I I think it's going to be more interesting to see the driver transfers more than anything after what will happen, and then what happens with regulation changes. This will be the first time I've seen the end of a season 1, so we'll soon find out, won't we? So then Bottas rounds off the season, taking the championship win, but also taking the race win. Ricciardo ended up on the podium, and then where did we finish? 17th place. We've done pretty well at beating our teammate this season, actually. And here you go, final rankings in the end then. And you can see we are going to end up ahead of our teammate, ahead of Romain Grosjean. So we're in P19, although the Alfa Romeo guy, Nick De Vries, just pipped us. I need to take a look at the constructors in the end. It's pretty much how you'd expect it, to be honest. So season 1, 882 points for Mercedes, and it's all about what happens now. So we've simulated a full season of F1 2020 career mode. And that is the driver career mode, of course. So let's just round off things here. See what happens with contracts, driver transfers, that sort of thing. But the renewal window is coming up, so we can approach other teams or renegotiate with Williams. Now, what do I want to do? If I was to, you know, move teams, how easy would it be to do that? So I'm going to negotiate with our teams, with our current team. Now, do I want to go medium risk, low risk? We'll go medium risk. We went low risk last time, but I think we did a good job this season. Hopefully they want to keep us signed, confirmed. We got more money in the bank, which is good. And yeah, I decided, you know what, Williams, we put in the work to protect the parts and everything. So let's see it through. Let's see what happens next season. We've got some money to spend here. So, we've got an interesting email. Kimi Räikkönen is now retired from Formula 1. And that will open a seat, triggering silly season. So, that's an interesting one. Okay. So, Kimi Räikkönen retiring.
You're not currently in a rivalry.
Didn't expect that, to be honest. I thought he was going to carry on for at least one more season, but I suppose he is 40 odd. Right then, let's finish off the season, find out what's going to happen, any cinematics, anything like that. Here we go.
I think seeing as it's the end of the season, now is a good time to talk about your less than ideal record this year. My job is to negotiate on your behalf, but you're not giving me much to work with here. Plus, this isn't exactly doing my career any good, so I need you to shape up, for both our sakes.
Oh, what? We didn't finish last in a Williams, so look at that, we didn't finish last. We beat our teammate as well. I hope you're having a word with him, lady. Right then. Ended off season 1, and interestingly enough, you can change up the races after a season. That is cool. I didn't know you could do that. I'm going to go with the full calendar again. And these are our settings just for simulating. I think that's right. So that's cool. Didn't know that. Settings don't matter really for simulated career mode, but what I am interested in is who's gone where. Who has gone where? Right then, by looks of things then, let's take a look. So Bottas is now at Red Bull. Hamilton and Vettel at Mercedes. What a partnership that is. Verstappen at Ferrari. AlphaTauri have Albon now, as well as Leclerc. Ricciardo still at Ferrari. McLaren still have Carlos Sainz. Perez still at Renault. Stroll at Racing Point. Who's got the other Racing Point seat? Kvyat. Norris is still at McLaren. Magnussen still at Haas. Gasly is now at Alfa Romeo. George Russell still here. And Red Bull signing Matsushits. Oh my god, I'm not going to pronounce that name. Who signed an F2 driver? So that is interesting. Now R&D. Yeah, R&D, man. Still sort of near the bottom. I thought there'd be a bigger shake-up at the grid, really, other than I suppose AlphaTauri have gone forward and so have a Racing Point. But yeah, that has been it then. We have simulated Season 1 of F1 2020 Career Mode. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I appreciate it's been a bit of a menu bashing style of video, but it's been interesting to see what will happen. Lots of driver transfers. Not much shake-up in terms of car R&D though. But I'm sure this will change, well, depending on each person's career mode. So let me know if you guys have simulated your own career mode. I will be doing Season 2 very soon, and we might even look to switch from Williams. I thought we'd make a jump up, but obviously not. It wasn't meant to be. So mid-season, I will look to move teams. But that's been it. If you are new around here, smash the like button, share it around with your friends, and do not forget to subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the